Hello, Sophia, welcome.
Oh, well,
Hi, great to have you here. We'll spend some time together. I have several questions just to get to know you better,
okay.
learn about what your interests are, what your future plans are, and kind of who you are as a student and as a person. Please just start by sharing a little bit about yourself and where you're from and anything you'd like to share.
Yeah, I'm eighth grade student from Xi'an Foreign Language Middle School.
Okay.
I'm taking French, and I'm also in the school orchestra. Um, my hometown is Hangzhou, but yes, I'm living in Xiamen most of the time.
So your school is in Xiamen.
Xiamen.
And so your school goes, do you finish at eighth grade and then go to high school?
No, we have middle school to ninth grade, and then high
Okay,
school.
okay. Wonderful. So how long have you been playing in the orchestra?
Uh, 1 year.
1 year.
1 year.
And you play what instrument?
The viola
Viola. Okay. Great. And you also speak French. So you speak Chinese, French,
and
English very well, I might add.
Oh.
And how long have you been studying French?
Half a year
Half a
maybe.
year?
Not
Okay.
very long.
So I think that you mentioned that you were going to America with the orchestra. Yeah,
Yes.
can you tell me when that's going to happen?
It's going to happen in February. Uh,
Next month.
Next month.
Wonderful. And how long will you be there?
For 10 days.
Okay.
Yeah, we will be going from the East Coast to the West. New York City, Philadelphia, and San Jose.
Okay. Wonderful. I noticed your coat is a very interesting color.
Oh,
I wonder,
thank
did
you.
you buy that or did you pick it out yourself or?
No, my mom chose it for me, but
Uh-huh.
I like it. It's
Mm.
warm. I think the color is not interesting. It's
Mm-hmm.
bright,
Yeah.
so I'll just wear it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good, especially this time of year. It's important to have a good coat for sure. Um, so I'd like to know a little bit about your interests, outside of school. For example, can you tell me about your favorite book and maybe some films that you like? What kind of films?
Well, I read a lot and I watch a lot of movies, so I don't have a favorite book, but I have a
Hmm.
favorite type of books.
Okay.
I enjoy novels about adventure. Like
Okay.
when I was younger, I really loved Harry Potter books.
Okay.
Um, I've also read Hunger Games and the movies. I've
Okay.
watched some of the movies.
Did
Um,
you read the books first or watch the
I read
movies
the
first?
books first.
Yeah.
First,
How did
yes.
they compare, the books and movie?
I enjoy the books much better.
Why is that?
Um, there's more detail to it, and
Hmm.
also some parts where I wanted to skip. It was much easier just flipping through the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you could also choose to read same places over and
Mm.
over. That's the better part of books. If there's
Mm.
parts you enjoy, you can keep
Yeah.
going back to it.
So I'm also very interested as a teacher myself, and as a student. I'd like to know what you think about what makes an ideal teacher.
An ideal teacher, I think, is the one who understands students and what uh, that they are different and what they need
Hmm.
as a student, as a person, as
Hmm.
an ideal teacher would be able to joke with students.
Yeah, yeah, I like that too in teachers. Have you ever had a teacher you would consider an ideal teacher?
Um, yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Hmm. And what subject was that in?
Music.
Hmm. Yeah. Can you tell me something about that teacher?
She's also the conductor of our orchestra, so I know her better.
Hmm.
I enjoy her classes a lot. Because her classes are very different from primary school.
Hmm.
Um, and she knows that we don't enjoy too much singing in our class,
Hmm.
so she tells more about uh, how different um, music all over the country or
Hmm.
the world, the differences, and we listen. She makes jokes and
Hmm.
she teases us
Hmm.
sometimes, and because she's in the orchestra, so well, I know her better then.
Have you ever seen any movies about great teachers? There's a
Great
few out there.
teachers.
Yeah, where the film is about a teacher that either has some conflict they have to resolve and help some students or the school, or just sometimes some eccentric kind of strange teacher, but is really an excellent teacher that has all those qualities you said.
Yeah, I think I've read when I was younger, the
Hmm.
Magic School Bus.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I
Those are some
remember.
good videos too.
Yes.
Um, Tell me a little bit about your best friend and why is the person your best friend, and what are
Uh,
some of the common things and different things you share?
well, my best friend is Helen, a
Hmm.
girl in our class. Uh,
Have you gone to school together a long time?
no, just for middle school, so
Okay,
2 years maybe,
okay.
year and a half. Yeah, she's my best friend because we are different.
Hmm.
Um, we're common too in some ways, but most because we are different. I enjoy things more fast paced.
Hmm.
I'm a little more hyper than her, and but she can balance it out.
Yeah.
So we make a good pair.
Wonderful. Is she in the orchestra too?
She used to.
Okay. So she won't be making the trip to
No.
America? Okay. So tell me a little bit about how you decided to apply for ABC school, and what sparked your interest in coming to this school.
Well, I always wanted to go to America for school,
Hmm.
and I thought ABC school was a really nice school. I think uh, it was a bigger possibility to go to a better school, a top college, university, if I took ABC school.
That makes sense. That's one of the reasons most of our students come, is because our placement is 100% of the students that graduate from our school, they get into top programs in the US or abroad. Um, so I know you enjoy music and French, and you've done quite well in your academic subjects, I saw in your material. Tell me a little bit about your future plans. Once you go through, say you're accepted to ABC school, what are the main subjects you'd like to study, and what are your future plans, say in college and afterwards?
Um, in ABC school, I'd like to obviously keep taking French
Hmm.
and world history, uh, math, uh, and physics,
Hmm.
social studies. I think that's very important. And
Why do you think social studies is in particularly
well,
important?
we live in the society. This is
Oh.
something I need to know how everything works. In
Hmm.
this, so I think it's very important to
Hmm.
take classes on this.
Yeah, I agree. Um, are
But
there any particular social issues that you're interested in? There's some problems right now that society is facing that you would like to contribute to solving?
in China or America,
Both, or any place in the world.
any
I'd
place in
kind
the
of like to
world.
know where your thoughts are.
Well, in China, I've read a lot of uh, reports
Mm-hmm.
about this wealth and profit extreme.
Mm.
What it seems like is the most wealthy people either are very successful or they are, we could say, very greedy.
Mm.
And the very poor people are either because they haven't got real good schooling,
Mm.
and maybe they don't have jobs,
Mm.
which is also employment is a
Yes,
very big problem right now.
true.
Um,
So there seems to be a relationship between some of these issues,
yes,
the unemployment, education,
and
wealth, and
poverty.
yeah. So math and physics, French language, some music, social studies, and what do you think about later? Do you have some
Later,
idea about what you want to do with your life as a
well,
profession or as work or service?
I've um I've had a dream about becoming an ambassador for.
An ambassador.
Yes, uh, so especially for American and Chinese relationships, because well, I think this is a very interesting job.
Yeah.
First, because China and America, the U.S. are very big countries and are well known in the whole world, and I think knowing the relationships between these two countries is very important for the whole economy, for everything. So I think
Absolutely. For
Connect.
both countries and for the world, I think these
Yes.
are a very important relationship.
Yes.
Yeah. There are some interesting classes we offer that deal with international relationships as well as communication. Um, there's an interesting subject called conflict resolution that is something that ambassadors should become well skilled in, and that might be of interest to you as well. I should ask you if you have any questions about the school or about anything related to your future education.
Oh, I'm kind of curious. Is every student required to take a number of classes at every level, or are we allowed to choose how much we want? And what classes are always required?
Well, you've touched on some of them already, but it's a kind of balance of both. There are a certain number of classes that are required that all students must take. And then within that, for example, there's a math requirement, but there's different levels of math that you can take. If, for example, you have a particular interest in the sciences, then your math and physics and the other natural sciences will be more weighted in your program. And then there are many classes you can elect to take. For example, not everyone will take some of the same courses. Those are things you can take yourself. Things like English language and literature, a particular foreign language, math and science, some courses from the humanities, and social sciences. These are all part of the core curriculum, we like to call it.
Okay.
Yeah. So usually we have a teacher or a counselor that will work with you to help set up the kind of program that will serve your future interests the best. So if you're interested in being an ambassador, we would sit down and look at what are the best courses that would help you achieve that goal, and we would plan those into your program. Other questions you might have?
I'd like to ask about the English classes, maybe, because as a Chinese student, my English, like vocabulary and grammar, maybe is not as well as is the level is not as high as they are in America. So, what do they take in the English classes? English, as in like literature and writing, this
Yep.
kind.
Our English classes are set up to, again, prepare the students for their specific areas in university. But we have English language and literature, we have courses on creative writing, and on scientific and technical writing. Anything else?
Um, I know there is a large population of Asian immigrants in California,
Huge.
and I was wondering, would my race and nationality affect me entering this school?
The only thing it could possibly affect is it could benefit you, is the only thing. I just say that very frankly because, America is the most diverse place on the planet. If you go to New York City, for example, I think this still holds true, but the most Chinese people outside of New York outside of China are there in New York. The most, Greeks outside of Greece are in New York. The most Jews outside of Israel are in New York. Even if it's not 100% true, you find this incredible diversity in these large cities in America. Like you've traveled from east to the west, had you driven through, you would have seen a lot of rural, small towns as well that are not so diverse. But I mentioned that it could be a benefit because at a program like ABC School, we're very much interested in diversity because the world is a diverse place. And one of the most important things we can learn is how to interact with each other across cultures, across countries, across languages. So the more diverse our school is, the better preparation we can do for our students, in this very real world environment. That being said, there's no box to check that, oh, she's from China, therefore she gets a plus. No, we're basically going to look at your materials and this interview, and every student will be judged fairly on that. Yeah. So, I think I've touched on most of the important things. Probably for you, gathering from what you've said so far, I should just emphasize that one of the things we specialize in are the higher advanced placement subjects, be that in language, math and science, arts and humanities, social science, so that hopefully from your ninth year onward, by those last 2 years, hopefully you'll be able to take some advanced placement courses. And by the time you are ready to hit the ground running in college, as we say, you'll be a little bit ahead of the game. So hopefully the first year of college, you'll be able to actually start some courses of what would be your second year. Yeah. It's been wonderful to meet you.
It's been wonderful.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Bye-bye. Hello, I'd like to give you an assessment, a brief overview of Sophia Lee, whom you've just seen in the interview. I'll make brief comments about 3 areas. First is her character, her personality. The second area is her academics, intellectual capacity and potential. And third is her promise and potential to succeed. And here, by succeed, I'm referring to 2 areas. First is to enrich the ABC school environment, both curricular and co-curricular. And 2, to achieve her academic and life goals, including successful college admittance. I can say at the outset that I would give Sophia my highest recommendation. She is a very strong candidate, and I'm sure you're aware that in an interview setting, you can only get so much about the applicant. Having reviewed her materials, I was quite impressed, and I have no doubt that she would succeed in all of her goals. As far as her character, you can see that she's very personable. She's really a lovely person, and she's very easy to get along with. My feeling in speaking to her was that she's quite an interesting person, and I'm sure her curiosity and her interest in succeeding would really enrich the ABC environment, and she would definitely reach her goals. I already mentioned her academics are quite strong, and you can see that in her resume and in her materials and her test scores. Her English is actually a little better than probably what you saw in the interview, but that's often the case when speaking your second language. I have no doubt that within the span of 1 to 2 months, her English would be equal to that of her classmates, and she would have no problem at all excelling. That the language would not be a barrier at all. Third, her promise and potential to succeed. One thing I note as very important is studying another foreign language. She already has 3 languages extremely well. Her French is beginning, but she's already got a strong start with that. And the music. Music is a very important area that we like to see in our applicants. Music, art, extracurricular activities, services they engage within their communities, some kind of outreach beyond the conventional kind of typical things that students do in school. So we really like to see things involving music, the arts, creativity, service, and exercise and athletics. That being said, I have no doubt she would really enrich the school's environment, and I think she holds great promise to succeed, not only in her studies at ABC, but I'm sure she'll be accepted to one of the schools of her choice, one of the universities of her choice, when she's finished. Thank you very much.